Next on Worcester News tonight, a shocking scene at a Worcester high school when a deer jumps through a window. How students are reacting. Plus, Maureen Binienda receives a contract extension, all while the group is trying to get her removed as superintendent. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Brittany Schaefer. An uninvited visitor causes quite a scene at Doherty Memorial High School this afternoon. Snapchat video shot by a student shows the moment a deer jumped through a main office window. It happened just after the final bell. Worcester police say one school staff member was in the room but is doing okay. Students say a total of 4 deer ran by the school. Only one jumped inside.
You don't think about these things throughout the school day. You know what I mean? Like, you're thinking about finals, prom, but nobody's like, oh, a deer could break through, or, oh, like, you know, the negative things that happen in school. There's a huge reaction. They told us all to come outside, so everybody's been waiting outside to see what happens.
Police say the deer broke its leg and had to be euthanized. We'll have more on this story tonight at 10 p.m. We'll hear from students who saw the deer inside the school. Well, it was a dark and gloomy day to the end of the work week, but it looks like things could be turning around, at least for part of the weekend. Let's send it over to meteorologist Pamela Gardner for a first look at our local forecast.
Hey there, good evening. It has been a cloudy and cool forecast for us on this Friday, but we have improving weather as we go into the weekend. A cold front is draped just to our west, and that will bring in repeated shower chances for the next several hours. So our quick cast through this evening, 60s to 50s. By 11 o'clock, the showers start to taper off. There could be a brief heavy downpour, maybe a rumble of thunder, but all in all, we're going to dry things out for the weekend. So that's the big story here. As we continue this evening, the scattered showers move across Worcester County and shift towards the eastern half of Massachusetts and southern parts of Worcester County overnight tonight. Lingering showers and lingering clouds for early Saturday if you're up around dawn, but then we have a gorgeous Saturday in store and lots of sunshine plus warmer temperatures with the northwest wind. Showers for Mom, that's a possibility still for Sunday. I'll show you the latest rain timing in just a few minutes.
Thursday night, Worcester Public Schools Superintendent Maureen Binienda received a 3-year contract extension. This despite recent backlash from a local coalition who has been asking the school committee to consider someone new for the job. Our Olivia Lemon joins us live now from the administration building with more. Olivia?
Brittany, the Worcester Coalition for Education Equity says while they would have preferred Binienda not be re-signed, they are hoping she will now follow a new list of action steps, including hiring a chief diversity officer.
I think a 5-2 vote is terrific.
After a more than 3-hour executive session, the Worcester School Committee gives Superintendent Maureen Binienda a new 3-year contract. It includes a salary of $215,000 with a 2% annual raise.
Maureen deserves all of the support that she is getting from our community and from our school committee.
School committee member Diana Binienda says they also approved a list of action steps Binienda must implement. It includes hiring a chief diversity officer and forming an affirmative action committee.
We covered a tremendous amount of points last night, but this is all a continuation of discussions that we have had. These are not new ideas that were brought to the table.
Some community groups have criticized Binienda's work, saying there are racial disparities in the schools.
We want to make sure that the school committee is holding the superintendent accountable.
The Worcester Coalition for Education Equity says with Binienda staying for another 3 years, they hope she follows the new list of action steps.
If we don't have community working around addressing the discipline issues, especially around K-2, then there's a real serious problem. And if the superintendent isn't open to working with the community around some of these issues around closing the achievement gap, we're not going to get anywhere.
Binienda says a lot of these issues are already being addressed. More school funding will help get new programs into existence.
Some of the community partners have stepped up and helped us with the funding, in-kind services and so on. But obviously to provide every student in Worcester Public Schools the benefits of what is needed, we need more funding.
And Binienda is finishing up her first 3-year contract as superintendent. In her new term, she will have to provide quarterly reports of the new action steps. Live in Worcester, Olivia Lemon, Worcester News Tonight.
Two men are charged with attempted murder after a fight in Webster Wednesday. Police responded to the area of Pearl and Wall Streets just before 2 p.m. They found a man who had been stabbed and multiple others with injuries. Officers learned 10 people were fighting and 2 individuals pulled out knives.
After they did some investigation, there was a pretty large fight that had broken out, and as a result of that fight, one individual was stabbed in the back, and he was transported to UMass. They did some investigation, and they focused on a couple of suspects, which they later determined that were involved in the stabbing, so they placed them under arrest.
Antonio Barreto III of South Grafton and Giovanni Israel Colon of Worcester are both facing multiple charges, including attempted murder and assault to murder. Police say they are due back in court soon pending a dangerousness hearing. Police also say the stabbing victim is in stable condition. A man died after suffering a medical emergency while in Worcester police custody Wednesday night. Police say the man was inside a cell. Officers performed first aid and he was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. An autopsy is being performed to determine an exact cause of death. The medical examiner's office says it does not appear to be suspicious. Police haven't released the man's identity or the reason he was in custody. A Worcester man who says he was beaten by police after a lengthy car chase in 2016 has filed a $6 million lawsuit. Richard Simone Jr. filed the federal lawsuit Wednesday. The chase started in Holden and ended in New Hampshire. After exiting his vehicle, cameras caught 2 officers hitting Simone multiple times. Since then, one officer resigned and the other was found not guilty of assault. Officers and supervisors from both Millbury and Holden police departments are named in the lawsuit. District Attorney Joe Early Jr. shows an emotional film to David Prouty High School students Friday. The documentary tells the story of the untimely, preventable death of a Massachusetts teen. It was created by his friends and family and is part of the District Attorney's effort to keep students safe and help them make better decisions. Our Chandler Walsh joins us live now with more. Chandler?
Brittany, the district attorney purchased the documentary of Clay Soper's story after seeing how eye-opening it was. He says it's one more tool in reducing preventable deaths and addressing the party culture.
It was just like any other night that, you were throwing a little party.
Students at David Prouty High School learn what could happen if drugs and alcohol are mixed.
If you mix an antidepressant, Xanax, with another antidepressant, alcohol, literally your system just shuts down.
They're watching the documentary If They Had Known with the Worcester County District Attorney's Office. The film tells the story of Winchester teen Clay Soper, who died after taking his prescription antidepressants and drinking alcohol at a party.
Clay Soper's friends that night thought they were doing the right thing by putting him to bed. He appeared very drunk. But like the title of the movie, If They Had Known, mixing one antidepressant with another antidepressant has potentially lethal effects.
Spencer Police Chief David Darren says it's a message he wants the students in his community to hear. He says his department responds to alcohol and drug-related calls almost weekly and wants young people to be safe and make good judgments.
Every time I see the film, and I've seen it a couple of times, that rings home with and a reminder of incidents that we've personally participated in where we've had to speak to a family member or a friend and let them know that they've passed on.
The documentary screening comes hours before the school's prom. Junior Heaven Ogunfetimi isn't attending, but hopes her friends who are keep Friday's message in mind.
If your friends are doing that you should be more careful and watch out for them and for yourself as well, but also for your friends.
District Attorney Joe Early Jr. says they've shown the film to high schools in recent months, and it's especially necessary as prom and graduation approach.
Most high school kids don't binge drink. The average is about 37%. But as they're leaving high school and going to college, those numbers flip around just during the first 5-6 weeks of college. So it's so important that they get this message now.
DA Early says the documentary is one of several prevention presentations they give in the area. He says over the past several years, they've been able to reduce the juvenile delinquency rate by 57%. Chandler Walsh, Worcester News Tonight.
A global helium shortage is affecting party stores in central Massachusetts. Party City announcing Thursday they'll be closing 45 stores across the nation, citing a short supply of helium affecting their profit. Party City store has stores in Shrewsbury and Millbury. Party City tells us they've signed a letter of agreement for a new source of helium. CEO Jim Harrison says, quote, "We believe this new source should substantially eliminate the shortfall we are experiencing at current allocation rates and improve our ability to return to a normal level of latex and metallic balloon sales." Worcester's former Sam's Club is getting repurposed into a distribution center. Sam's Club closed to customers early last year but will now serve as a fulfillment center for online orders to compete with Amazon. The center will be up and running May 20th and will have up to 120 full-time employees. The first Sam's Club fulfillment center opened in Tennessee in 2018. Assumption College breaks ground Friday on a new health sciences building. The space offers nursing and physician assistant students a space unlike any other on campus where they can get hands-on experience. Rosalind Flaherty reports.
This is the future place where nursing and physician assistant students will take classes at Assumption College in 2020.
It opens up a whole new chapter for Assumption.
The college broke ground on the 41,000 square foot new health sciences building. The building will have exam rooms and simulation labs so students can get real-life hands-on experience. President Francesco Cesareo says the programs were much needed.
Our concern is not simply to prepare nurses to have the skills that they need, which is absolutely essential, but much more importantly, to realize that they are working with people who happen to have an illness. And so this person, this patient, has an inherent human dignity, and regardless of what illness they may have, they have to treat that person with compassion, respect, and empathy.
The Dean of Nursing says the school had a nursing program years ago, but it was shut down in the early 1990s. She and the founding director of the physician assistant program say it's now more important than ever to offer these degrees.
The looming retirement of the baby boomer nurses, we are going to have a major nursing shortage.
It's needed everywhere. If you work in healthcare, like I have for 35 years now, there's never enough quality nursing, and there's still a shortage of primary care providers.
The $22 million project is funded through investments, fundraisers, and borrowed money. The nursing program will take on 34 students, and the physician assistant program will take on 45.
Sends a great message not only to them, but to the community, to students that might want to come here.
Now, the nursing program will start this fall. The PA program will start in January of 2021. Rosalind Flaherty, Worcester News Tonight.
Restaurants are gearing up for a busy weekend with graduations and Mother's Day. For some, giving mom a break from cooking makes Mother's Day the busiest day to go out to eat. In Worcester, Lock 50 has more than 300 reservations on Sunday alone. General Manager Tom Struder says it's important to prepare for the rush of people.
We redecorate a little bit, we squeeze together some different stuff and do some different table combinations to maximize. Mother's Day especially is not 2s and 4s, it's a lot of 6s and 5s. We're staffed up like a Saturday night. Saturdays are normally our busiest night, so it's a long weekend for everybody, but at the end of it, they all make some extra money and they're happy with that.
Struder says Easter and New Year's Eve are their other two busiest days of the year.